that makes you all but happy. What the heck did I just do? What the? Let it bring you along. La la la. Life you lead is uncertain. How much? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night mini medicine card readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull some cards. So, I just got back from the river, so I'm all smoky. I do some sacred pipe ceremony at the river, and beaver showed up. There was an actual beaver. I haven't seen him for I think it's been over a year. And he was at a different place than he normally is, so it was really cool to see. Hi, Sylvia. Okay, I will put you down and I will leave you to the end. So, hi, Anna. Come on in. The way this works, if you are new here, the first 6 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card reading. And if you are watching this on the repeat or something, or you're if you came in too late, all you need to do is choose a number between 1 and 6 and listen to that card, and it will be, I promise that even though it may have been aimed at someone else, Spirit has this amazing way of weaving messages together, and what you need will be dovetailed into whatever else I say. So thank you for joining me. My only request for watching this is if you would please share this video. I am trying to expand my voice, expand my influence, and you can help me out by sharing the video especially if you enjoy it and you get something out of it. I would really appreciate you telling someone about it. So, or if you have had a healing or readings or had classes with me, let me know. Let other people know, I mean. And if you enjoy tonight, I also have my PayPal and Venmo links in the description, and anything you give me, this is my day job, so this is how I make my living. So anything you give is so much appreciated. Support your local shaman and help me be able to do my work and follow my path. And thank you. So that I can support you. So for those new people coming in, holy cow, there's a lot of people coming in. I'm always a little nervous. I've been doing these videos since the beginning of the pandemic, but I've been doing them on Facebook, and I just recently started doing it on YouTube. So I'm always a little bit nervous. Whole new audience, new people. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking a chance on me. If you are new here, I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we're going to be pulling some medicine cards. Each of these cards has a different totem animal. So the first 6 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card reading. And if you are not one of the first 6, all you need to do is choose a number between 1 and 6 and pay attention to that card. So, well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Gagi, I don't know how to pronounce Gagi. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for following me. Yeah, I just started doing the YouTube videos, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So I never know how much to trust the the numbers at the top telling me how many people are watching, but if you're watching and you want a card reading, all you need to do is say yes. Gage? Okay. Gage is how it's pronounced. I'm glad you're here, Gage. Thank you. And I will put you on the list. All right, so let's get started, right? Because I do tend to be a little loquacious, a little wordy, and I do try to get, I started doing this, I allocated an hour for doing this, and I could never bring it in under an hour. So then I moved it to an hour and a half, and I still have trouble making it within just an hour and a half because I tend to talk a lot, and the guides, the spirits have a lot to tell me, so I do my best. But thank you for coming along, and let's go ahead and get started, huh? So our first card is for, oh, Sylvia said to wait till the end, so I'm going to put a star by her so that, so our first one is Anna. Oh, that, I feel that, thank you, Gage. That makes me feel good that I remind you of your Uncle Kenny. I actually recently, I was going through an espresso stand, and this young barista, I ordered a 16 ounce chai, and she gave me a 20 ounce because I reminded her of her grandpa. So I'm not sure how, like, I don't feel like I'm old enough to be a grandpa, but it is what it is. But that, it always feels really good when that. So thank you for letting me know that. That's awesome. All right, card number 1 for Anna. Okay. All right, Anna, we got Prairie Dog. Life is crazy, isn't it, Gage? Card number 1 for Anna is Prairie Dog. So, I love Prairie Dog medicine. We actually, a few years ago, I went out to Bear Lodge, which is also known as the Devil's Tower. And prairie dogs are everywhere. And we spent like at least a couple hours out in the field watching the prairie dogs and just sitting there talking back to them. And stuff is changing and crazy and scary, but we're all in this together. And there is always hope because there is no such thing as separation. We are all one. And our divine soul, who we truly, truly are, is eternal. Not just some of us, all of us, every human being is a divine soul. And that's where our hope lies, because because we as individuals, our hearts are connected. I want to address what Gage said about how crazy, like scary life is. So I want to address that real quick. But your heart is what connects you to Creator, right? Source, the conductor of the orchestra, right? We're all part of this orchestra. And your heart also connects you to every living being in that orchestra. And so just like you, every being is connected directly to Source. And that is your only source of power, of energy, of abundance, of love, whatever you want to call it. It may seem to come from other people. You may get a paycheck from someone else, but that is a reflection of your connection through your heart to Creator. That is your only source. Um, and no matter what's going on in the world, by connecting to that source and following your heart, you will be okay. The universe supports you. The universe has your back. No matter how scary it seems, if you can keep your center, if you can stand your ground, stand in your power, and even at times when it's the scariest, to like, there's, instead of tightening down, protecting ourselves and fighting, to ground and surrender, knowing that we are divinely guided, that your life is unique. Like I said, the only source of power is from Creator, and your outside world reflects that. Your outside world is a reflection of that, right? And sometimes the outside world is challenging because it's like the universe wants to make sure how committed you are to your heart, right? And so it's gonna, it'll throw things up that don't seem to be of love. But when you can see through the facade to the love on the other side of that, everything will always work out. And so in times like this, these crazy, scary times, it's even more important to follow your heart, to do what you are called to do, to follow your dreams, right? Kenzie, hi! Sorry. Oh, thank you, Gage. I so appreciate that. You know, and I'm still imperfect. I'm still working. I'm still trying to make my way, trying to embody the things that I tell my clients and people and videos and all of that. But when it comes down to it, there is no separation. Separation is a fallacy. It's an illusion, because we are all part of the same source energy. And when we can move from that place of the heart, you know, it's like that namaste, right? The divine in me sees the divine in you. When you can do that to every person on the planet, no matter who they are. You can see the divinity in other people. Just, if you know about the double slit, I'll get to your card. We'll get to card number 1 for you, Anna, in a little bit. But the double slit experiment, where scientists wanted to know if light acted as a particle or a wave. And so they set up a light source, and then they had like a board with one slit in it, and then they had a backboard, and they sent light through. And when there was only the one slit, light would go through, and there would be the appropriate pattern on the back, right? But when they put 2 slits, they expected it to act the same way, that there would be that they expected that light would act as a particle, and so each particle of light would have to choose one or the other slit to go through, right? What they found out was the light was going through both, unless they were watching it, unless they had something monitoring it. If no one was watching, light acted as a wave and went through, and there was that corresponding interference pattern on the backdrop of light. But as soon as they started to watch it, or even putting a camera there, if no one was actively watching it, but someone would be watching it in the future, light acted as a particle, and it would choose one or the other slit to go through, and they would have the corresponding pattern on the backdrop. So consciousness, awareness, seeing through the facade, through the illusion of life, is one of your most powerful tools. To see someone, to see the fear, to see the anger, to see the conflict that they're trying to put between you, but seeing beyond that to the love underneath it, to the oneness underneath it. And that doesn't mean that we excuse others and let them run ramshod, right? But by seeing them, seeing the divinity in someone first, and then making them accountable. It's like, okay, treating 5-year-old behavior as if you're treating a 5-year-old. You still see the divinity within them, but you don't allow that behavior, because that behavior is a false perspective. It's the result of a false perspective, acting from fear rather than love. So, anyway. So, let's get to our cards, shall we? And Gage, I see you wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and I want to read everything you said, so I'll read it after we're done with the video. But I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much for connecting and letting me know that I helped you. That is like the best reward I know of, is knowing that I was able to help. No worries, no, nothing to apologize for. So, all right, card number 1. Change. I'm trying to keep track of when I pull the card so I can make a list in the description. So if you choose a certain card, you can go directly to that card rather than having to wade through everything. So card number 1 for Anna is Prairie Dog. You have been doing, I remember, I don't always remember everything from reading to reading, but I remember our last reading together that it's like you've turned things around, okay? Prairie Dog is about retreat. Prairie dogs have the vast underground prairie dog towns, right? And in those towns, they have specific chambers for the individual prairie dogs to go and to be by themselves, to kind of be alone, to kind of recalibrate and reconnect to their own unique vibration, frequency, whatever you want to call it, to get back in touch with their own energy without the influence of anyone else's energy, right? So it's about centering and grounding, pulling away from community so that you can re-enter community feeling more whole and complete, so that you have more to offer community, right? I think we were talking about this at your last reading about, there's a video that I saw a while back. I need to find it so I can post it again. But there was a Buddhist monk who had a pitcher of water and he had a glass, and he said, this is how we think it works. And he filled the glass and then he poured it out. And he filled the glass and he poured it out. And he said that we think we have to fill our cup so that we can empty it for the sake of someone else, right? But he said that's not how it's supposed to work. And he took that glass, he filled it with water, and he just kept filling it and filling it. And the water is running over everywhere, but the cup stayed full. We're not meant to sacrifice ourselves for the sake of others, because that's not helping others. We're supposed to help others from the overflow of keeping our cup full. Okay? It's from the overflow that others can get their cup filled. It's entrainment. It's when you're the highest vibration in the room, your vibration raises the vibration of everybody else. Everyone else's vibration rises to try to meet yours. That is the heart of healing. That is how we heal and change the world, by maintaining our own higher vibration. And you don't, it's actually like my teacher, Sandra Ingerman, says, it's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world. It's more about your frequency. It's not as important what you do in the world. When you act without connection, without aligning, all you're doing is rearranging boxes. There's no real change happening. But when you seek enlightenment first, alignment first. Hi, Tiffany. I got you down. If there's anyone else that's just coming in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 2 spots left. All you need to do is say yes in the comments and you'll get a 1-card reading. But so you've done that. You've been able to find that space for yourself to recharge, to reground, to recenter so that you can reemerge from the cave, right? Like the womb of Mother Earth, right? That chamber underground to come up into the light of day and to be a better citizen, right? Um, and and I know this is often, I am not a parent, so I can't really speak with that authority, but I do, having so many friends that are parents, I know that prairie dog medicine is really tricky for parents because you've got that, especially mothers, right? You have that inborn sense of duty and responsibility and obligation to your children. And I'm not negating that, but like I had a friend who believed that if she wasn't exhausted by the time she went to bed at night, that she hadn't done her job. And I'm like, you're not helping anybody if you're exhausted. And what you're doing is exhausting and draining you. You're really not helping anybody. And so that seeking your own energy, your own alignment with your own spirit, your own unique connection to Creator, then you're more awake in the world, you're more passionate in the world, you're more of a force in the world. And everything changes not so much by what you do, but by who you are, your presence in the world. It's kind of like unicorn medicine, right? Unicorn heals by their very presence because they are so high frequency that they can dip their horn in a body of water and the entire body of water is purified, no toxins. That's what we do when we can maintain that higher frequency. And the thing with the parenthood, like motherhood, it's like prairie dog also has this sense of guardianship in that there is always one or more prairie dogs whose job it is to be on duty, to watch the horizon, watch the skies for predators. And because there's somebody on duty whose sole job is to do that, everyone else can stand down and can enjoy themselves, can back off from having to be responsible for everyone else because they know should a threat appear, the call will go up and everybody will scamper for shelter. And so there's this sense of trusting that not only is this true for you, but this is true for your family, for your children, for your loved ones, that they are just as divine as you and they have just as much protection as you do, that you don't have to be the shield, right? That you can stand down, like a friend of mine a long time ago talked to me about, like she started delegating. She was, and she is a mother, a single mother, and she was always really super protective of her daughter. And then she realized that she couldn't do it anymore, that it was draining her. And she started to delegate to the universe. It's like, okay, universe, I don't know what to do. I am draining myself in my attempts to do this work of protection and support. I give it up. I delegate it, right? I surrender, and I allow you to take care of the best well-being of this person, whoever it happens to be, daughter, son, husband, family, friends, whoever. And so there's this inborn sense of wellness um, and protection. It's like really along the same lines. It's like when you're aligned, you don't have to worry about protecting yourself. If there is something that is harmful or toxic or threatening to you, when you're in alignment, either that thing will pass you by or you will just not be there when it arises. You'll be somewhere else because your frequency is incompatible with that threat. Does that make sense? Like I'm thinking of the movie The Secret. There's a scene where it was like a husband and wife thing, and the husband comes home and is all grumpy, etc., etc. And he gets even more angry because there's a note on the table from his wife that says, "Hey, I went out and I'm having fun with my girlfriends. I'll see you later." So that, like, by following her heart, she was out having fun with her friends. So she wasn't even there when her husband brings home this, dark cloud of anger and all that. So it's like when you're in your own alignment, in your own power, you don't have to even monitor that so much. It will either pass you by or it will pop up, and your intuition, you will hear the warning bells, you will hear the alarm bells, like a spidey sense, right? And it'll be like, okay, something's not right here. What is that? Okay. And because you have taken the time to get familiar with your baseline frequency, you're going to know that's not my vibration. That's not my frequency. Okay, that's coming from somewhere else. So I can let go of it. I can transmute it by, again, reestablishing my connection, my alignment. I'm raising my frequency. I am going to nullify and raise that frequency. And by doing so, you actually help whoever that was coming from, whoever was originating that frequency, whatever it is, they benefit simply by you reestablishing your own connection, right? So kudos to you. You're doing it. You're doing it. All right, card number 2. I told you I'm kind of loquacious. I guess it doesn't help when I go off on a lecture at the very beginning of the video, but all right. Card number 2 for Gage. Gage says I will be right back. So I'm not sure if Gage is here right now. So actually, why don't we jump to Tiffany? Tiffany will make you number 2, and then I'll get Gage when they're back. So Tiffany, this is your card number 2. And when we're done here, this of course will be posted on my, YouTube is weird. Oh, you're back. Okay. All right, we'll do card number 2. Gage, we'll do it for you since you're back. I didn't want to do it without you. So, okay, we'll go back to our original order. But if you ever, I've had people come on, say yes, and then they disappear, and then they go back and watch it when it's posted. It's weird, like with Facebook, the video was ready right away, and I would upload it to YouTube. But now it's like after the video, it usually takes it a day or so to finish uploading and stuff. It's been really weird. So, but within a day or two, if you want to remember what I said, or you want to rewatch it, or you want to choose a whole different card and see what that card's guidance is, it will be up within a couple of days on my YouTube channel. So, all right, Gage, you are card number 2. All right, so Gage, you got horse. Card number 2 for Gage is horse. I didn't have a chance to read all your comments and stuff, but I saw you had some challenges going on. But know that horse is power. Horse is claiming your power. Horse is, like, even today, engines are judged by horsepower, right? And so it's like this unbridled power, but it's not power in the sense that we think of, where we think of, power as having all these minions beneath you and, the whole hierarchy, the pyramid of power, etc. That is not true power. That is force. And like they say in the Tao, conquering others requires force. Conquering self requires enlightenment. That's true power. And the power of horse, I mean, when you see a horse, they just exude power. They look so powerful and so strong and so regal, right? And, our heart is basically an electromagnet. And there's this I'm not going to get that word right tonight. Toric field around us from our heart. There's this electromagnetic field around us. But horse's heart, I can't remember. I can't remember. I want to say like 5 times big. Is 5 times bigger than ours. It's substantially bigger than our heart, and so their energy field is substantially bigger than ours. So when you are in the company of horses, when you're with a horse, like I was talking about entrainment earlier, about how the highest vibration calls everyone else's vibration higher. So when you're with a horse, and horse's power, horse doesn't have to prove they're powerful. It's self-evident. They know they're powerful, so they don't have to prove it. So it's this quiet, self-evident power. And that's how equine therapy works, because a horse's energy field, being so much bigger than ours, entrains our heart and our energy system to theirs. And so there's this calm, confident, but still wild, right? Still wild, this wild, calm courage and confidence of horse. And like when horse shows up, horse is, how do I put this? I've got so many different tangents running in my head. 1 second. Need some water. Horse is also about expansion, that same expansion that your energy field experiences just being around horse. Horse is also I always think of horse as kind of the original internet, right? It was because of horse that trade routes were open, that the world became smaller, that the world became more connected. We went from isolated villages to bigger and bigger communities because of horse. And so he expands, he connects. And so, and one thing, going back to your original, like talking about how scary the world is right now, one of the things that I've learned, I went through over a decade of extreme panic attacks and anxiety. And one of the things I learned from that is when I start to feel that constriction, when I start to feel boxed in, the best thing to do is to expand, right? And that could be going for a walk in the woods, exploring new territory, going for a walk in woods I've never been to, or at least getting out of the house, right? Expanding from that cabin fever of being in your own house to going outside, right? Or expanding your mind. It's like when I start to feel that constriction, I like to watch documentaries or to read books, to learn new things, to somehow expand my mind, to expand my heart. Read poetry. I went to the river this afternoon, and I brought my John Keats, my complete poetry of John Keats book with me, and I read poetry at the river while I was doing ceremony. And because it's like gets me out of my own head, it rewires my language, it opens me up to new thoughts. And so things are expanding for you. And when you feel that constriction, when you feel the resistance, do something expansive. Read something new. Watch, like there are so many little like 5 or 10 minute mini documentaries on YouTube. What's the one called that I always watch? Eons. I think it's called Eons. And it's from, I think it's from PBS. And it's these little 5 to 10 minute videos, mostly like archaeology or paleontology. It's all about like prehistory and dinosaurs and ancient people or different things like that. And it's so just that expansion of learning something new. Like they've learned that the more, like every time you learn something, it puts a new wrinkle in your brain. And the more wrinkles you have in your brain, the longer you tend to live. Because you have more neural pathways. You have, so when something pops up, you've got more than just the one tunnel vision focus of how to do it. You've got so many different avenues of approach, right? And so expand, purposely expand, and know that your world is expanding, right? I have a feeling you're set to, whether it's physical travel or just overcoming old obstacles and thought forms. Your world is expanding into new territory. You're jumping the fences. It's like you can't. Like there's a Walt Whitman quote, one of his poems. Like I think it's part of the Song of Myself, where he talks about I too am not untamed. I too am not tamed. I voice my barbaric yelp over the rooftops of the world. Don't let the world tame you. Keep that sense of wildness, that primal, because we think wild as as bad. We think of wild as uncontrollable, because from a logic, patriarchal view, we need to be in control of everything. And that's where our safety lies. But your real safety lies in that primal wildness that comes from your original purity and innocence. It's a wild innocence, and we don't often put those two words together. So always keep, like, even like Tarzan was always my biggest hero when I was a kid. I've read all the books except for The Son of Tarzan, because I was like, well, that's not Tarzan, that's the son of Tarzan. But there, even in the books, like Edgar Rice Burroughs often puts this thing about Tarzan shedding that thin veneer of civilization and returning to jungle life, returning to the wild, which was actually more harmonious, more powerful than the rules and regulations of civilization that kind of squelch any true power. To stay wild. And know that you can't be fenced in, right? Don't fence me in. Give me land, lots of land with the heavens up above. Don't fence me in. Don't let yourself be fenced in. Jump those fences. Homework, if you choose to accept it. There's a movie. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh crap, where is it? I just saw it. It's called The Electric, there it is. Okay. One of my all-time favorite movies, The Electric Horseman, with, there we go, trying to get off the glare, Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. There's this racehorse that this company bought, and they're using it for their promotions, for cereal and different things. And they've got the horse in Vegas, and they've got it drugged so they can put him up on stage. And Robert Redford steals the horse because that is not the natural habitat for a horse, and the horse is being abused and drugged and all these things. And it's kind of a metaphor for Robert Redford's character, who feels constrained and boxed in. And so he steals this horse to let it become wild again. It's such a great movie. I can't recommend it enough. It's one of those ones that I get such chills when I watch it. I feel this elevation. I just feel myself just get excited, because it awakens that wildness within me. That wildness, like in the movie, he's talking to the horse, and he's like, that wildness is just half forgot. That's all. You get out there and you'll remember it. So let yourself remember the wildness, the untamedness, because it's the wild, it's the untamed, it's the not neurodivergent, artistic, creative people that change the world. It's the people that can think outside the box, that are the creator, the shakers and makers of the world. The introverts, the artists, the visionaries. And so we can't allow the world to shut down those visions, to shut down those callings and dreams. The world needs us to fulfill those dreams. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. I warned you before how loquacious I can be. So, but I hope that helps. I think there's really good things coming up, and you're gonna find your power. You're gonna step into your power and move from your power, and that's gonna Joseph Campbell talked about when you move in the direction of your dreams, where there were only walls, doors will open. And that's kind of what he was talking about. When you stand in your power and you refuse anyone to steal your dreams and you move toward them, doors will literally open where there was none. People will show up. Synchronicities start to happen. Okay, so follow that. All right, so card number 3 for Tiffany. If there's anyone else that's come in the meantime, I still have 2 spots left. If you want a 1-card reading, all you need to do is say yes in the comments. And the next 2 people to do that will get a card. Otherwise, we'll just go with 4, just kind of like going with the flow. I've had nights of just 2 people. I had one night where my comments weren't working. I knew there was 1 person on, and so I did a whole like hour and a half on just a single card. So that was fun. Anyway, Tiffany, card number 3. What is the timer? 48. All right, Tiffany. That's exactly it, Gage. Being more open and letting others be more open. Loose ends are being tied up. That's awesome. You're doing it. You're doing it. Hi, Christy. Yay, I got you down. You will be next. All right, so Tiffany, card number 3 is Grandmother Spider. Talking about tying up loose ends, right? Spider is literally the center of her world. She is the creator of her world, right? Literally. Her world comes, her web is an outward expression of her inner life, right? It's like her web comes from inside of her, literally. And God, there's so many different directions to go. Give me a second. What I'm getting is that this is to validate for you that you have been more aware of your intuition, right? That web, the threads, the cords, right? It's like listening to the vibrations. Cool. I'll see you later, Gage. Thanks for joining us. I'm so glad it helped. Have a wonderful night. Have a good work day tomorrow. I'll see you soon. All right. Thank you. So Tiffany, it's like literally, like we talk about the web of life, like Chief Seattle talked about the web of life, and what that web that connects all living things. And like I don't know if you were at the beginning, I was kind of talking about how your heart is what connects you to Creator. There's one thread. And then your heart is what connects you to the heart of all humanity, all living things. That's literally this web of thread connecting you to all living things, right? And so this is And rather than, like, when you're aware of that, at first it might seem like, well, how can I be an individual if I'm part of this web, right? It's kind of like, it can be overwhelming. It can be kind of, feels like, that whole thing about, oh, the world's so big and I'm so small. But it actually can have the opposite effect in that it frees you up to be who you are and to know that everything you do has an effect in the world. Everything you do ripples outward through that web and it affects everyone else. Like Jane Goodall even said that, you're alive. Everything you do affects the world in some way, right? It's just make sure that what you're doing is affecting the world in a good way. And there's a phrase that I try to live my life by, and it's called walking in beauty. And it's a Native American phrase, and I don't know what tribe it originated with, but the crux of it is that everything you do and everything you say and everything you think plants seeds of either beauty or ugliness, love or fear. And so live your life so that everything you do sows seeds of love, of connection, of beauty. There's enough ugliness in the world, right? Don't add to it. And so, and when you're spinning your web, when you're creating your life, it's like Spider doesn't, let's see, how do I put this into words? Grandmother Spider connects her web to things that are stable or sturdy, things that will support her web, the well-being of her web, right? She doesn't attach it to things that are going to start whipping around and breaking her web. And so this is kind of, again, a validation that you've been doing that you've been kind of cutting the cords of toxic people or situations or both that tend to destabilize your world. And you've been learning to connect to things and people and ideas, etc., that support your well-being and the integrity of your world, right? And you get these threads, so this web connecting the world, and these threads vibrate, right? And so you like a fly lands in your web, and there's like, oh, that's a good vibration. That's dinner. I'm going to go toward that vibration. Or if something else is happening over here, that's a bad vibration. Okay, I'm going to go back this way, right? It's like listening to the vibes, listening to your intuition, navigating from the heart, right? The origin of these threads, of this web. And so you can, because your heart is connected to all living things, you can trust your heart. When it tells you to do something or to go in a certain direction, your heart has already taken into consideration every living thing. And so it's only going to guide you toward what is for the highest good of all beings. So keep listening to your heart. Know that you're doing, this is a validation, even if you weren't aware of it, to let you know that you are creating your world, that you are coming to realize, again, that alignment I was talking about, that alignment with self that puts you as the center, as the co-creator of your world. And knowing that because you have this, I was talking about the spidey sense earlier, right? You have the spidey sense, you get the vibration before whatever it is appears visually or physically. You get the vibration so that you're not in that place when whatever that is shows up. So you've been able to move into a place that is more harmonious. And one thing my guides are reminding me too, to help maintain this web, to help maintain the integrity of your world. And when I talk about integrity, I'm talking about integrity as in wholeness, right? Like the integrity of a ship. You know, if the ship's integrity is compromised, water is going to start leaking in and sink the ship. But if the ship's hull has integrity, it's whole. There's no holes. There's no place for other stuff to get in. And so by keeping, again, that kind of the theme of tonight is keeping that high vibration, that high frequency, you maintain that integrity that keeps lower frequencies from tearing your web apart, if that makes sense. So, oh, okay, and yeah, and I totally went on a tangent. My guides were reminding me that one way to help maintain that integrity, that if you don't already, that journaling would be a great thing, right? It's said, I've read that like if you think about the Norse runes, for instance, right? It said that we learned to write, we learned our letters, etc., from patterns in spider's web. So she taught, just like Charlotte's Web, right? Radiant. Spider taught us how to write. And so when Spider comes up, that's one of the things I often ask is do you journal? And if not, I would recommend some kind of journaling or just some kind of creative expression, right? We heal by giving voice to our feelings, to our issues, etc. It's like get them out of you, put them on paper, put them on the screen. Use paint or even dance or song or whatever it is to get that out of you. Don't let those things live inside of you where they compromise your integrity, right? They kind of eat away at you. And so give voice to them, express them, feel them, and allow them. Because then once you have released them, they become, spider web is proportionately one of the strongest fibers in the world. Like if it were bigger, it would be stronger than steel. And so it's like by expressing, by getting those things out, it no longer eats you away on the inside, but it supports your outer world. It becomes a solid string that supports you. Does that make sense? So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to keep moving on. Hopefully we can get through to everyone before our time. All right, so card number 4 for Christy. And we still have room for one more person if you want a one card reading. All you have to do is say yes in the comments. We have room for one more. If not, it will be just this number 4 for Christy, and we'll just do 5 for Sylvia. So, all right. I need to remember to open the door, put on a fan. Like I always forget. I get hot when I'm doing this work, when the energy starts flowing, and I'm like channeling and everything. It's like I get so hot. I'm like burning up now. All right. All right, so this is funny. Christy, card number 4 is also horse. Give me a second. It's like, I always want to make sure, especially when a card pops up twice in the same video, that I kind of am able to focus in on the differences. I don't want to just repeat what I just said. So, okay. So, for you, Christy, the message from Horse is, okay, so what my guides are popping in my head is this little story I heard one time about how this kid got onto the city bus and he had, hi Valerie, yeah, you will be next, and that will be our complete, awesome, good to see you, Valerie. So there was a story about this kid that gets on the city bus, and he's got this huge, heavy backpack on, right? And he gets on the bus, and he just stands in the aisle holding on to the pole or whatever, and he's still got his backpack on his back. And this woman who was sitting on one of the seats, like, looks up at him, and she's like, you know, the bus can handle the weight of both you and the backpack. You don't have to continue carrying the backpack. You can put it down. The bus can handle the weight of the backpack. You know, don't keep carrying that weight when you don't have to. And it's kind of like with horse medicine. It's like putting down. My guides for a while kept telling me, it's like, if it's too heavy, put it down. You're not meant to break your back under the weight of guilt or shame or responsibility or whatever it is. And so, again, like I said, I was talking earlier about my friend who introduced me to the idea of delegating to the universe when something was too heavy or something was draining me, to delegate it. Say, okay, universe, this is yours. I delegate this to you. I can't do it myself. I don't know how to do it myself. Take it. And in that way, like horse, beast of burden, right? But when we, again, like I said earlier, when we move in the direction of our dreams, and where there were only walls, doors open. Suddenly you can't be fenced in. Because spirit can carry you and your issues and your baggage and your guilt or your shame. You don't have to carry those things. You don't have to, like basic law of attraction, manifesting, etc. It's not your job to figure things out, to logistically figure out every step of the journey. Your only job is to tell the universe where the destination is, who you want to be, how you want to feel, what you want your life to look like, etc. And then to let go of everything and allow the universe to guide you, to carry you to that destination. Yes, exactly. It's like the Footprints poem. Exactly. If it's too heavy, spirit will carry you. When you start to move, when you start to validate your dreams, when you move in the direction of your passions, of your dreams, of your desires, you know how there's certain things you do and you kind of find yourself by losing yourself in them, right? That is spirit carrying you. I just got chills. When you're moving with joy as your compass, with joy as your destination, spirit will carry you, will pick you up. That's why when you're doing something you enjoy, time goes so fast, because it's like you're on horseback, and it's like what would have taken you a week to get from this place to this place. It's like all of a sudden you're doing this thing and boom, you're there, and you know, it's only been an hour or whatever. It feels like it's only been an hour, and you've been like I'm a cartoonist. In fact, I was just drawing a comic before I started the video tonight. Um, and I have to be careful, because I will keep drawing. Sometimes I don't go to bed until you dance. Awesome. Perfect. Dance. Oh my God. I just got chills again. When you know how you're dancing and you're in the flow and you're not thinking, because you're not up here. You're in your heart, you're in your body, right? You're present, you're in the moment, right? Because the point of dancing is not to get to the end of the dance. Otherwise, whoever gets there first wins. But that's not what dancing is about. That's not what music is about. It's about the flow, right? Just like the comics, when I'm drawing, I will like look up and it'll be 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. It's like, crap, I need to go to bed. But I totally, I forget to eat. It's like there's so many nights that I'm eating dinner at like 11 o'clock or midnight, because I forgot to eat because I was so engrossed in drawing. Or I'll even forget to pee. Like I'll kind of pause, like, oh crap, I need to pee, and then I'll keep drawing, and then an hour goes by, and then it's like all of a sudden it hits me, oh that's right, I had to go pee. So it's like that's what it feels like when spirit is carrying you. So let that be your compass. Move toward joy. Joy is, how do I say this in words? Joy is the feeling of when you are in alignment, of when you are doing what you came here to do, when you're fulfilling your purpose. Joy is the natural result. Although I don't really know if you can say it's a result, but joy is the sensation of alignment. And especially in this day and age, like with everything that's going on in the country and the world, it's easy to kind of squelch our joy, to protect ourselves, and to put it off, when it's so much more important in these times to find our joy. Because it's joy that we are standing up for. It's joy that is why we are, the resistance, or whatever you want to say. It's like, it's because of joy. And so if we're holding off our joy until it's safe to feel joy again, it's never going to happen. It's like, find the joy that you can in every day, right? And along with what I was saying earlier with Spider about walking in beauty, it's like when I go to bed at night, I try my one goal every day is that when I go to bed at night, there's a little bit more beauty, a little bit more love, and or a little bit more joy in the world than there was when I woke up. Because we are all connected. And when you find that joy, you raise the world just a little bit more, right? And the tide raises all ships. If you're feeling the benefits of that, if you're feeling that upliftment, even if others can't feel it, others are benefiting from that as well. And you're making it more accessible to other people as well. So when you dance, when you find that joy, that fulfillment, you are benefiting all living beings. So do what brings you joy, okay? So I hope that is helpful. All right, card number 5 for Valerie. Give me 1 second. I just noticed my phone is getting a little bit low. So I'm going to grab my charger so I don't lose you guys. Okay, come on. It's a good thing you can only see a certain amount from my phone. You can only see like this much of my apartment because the rest of it is kind of a mess. I had to disentangle my charger from a bunch of other things. But now here, let me plug this in so I don't lose you. Perfect. All right. So, card number 5. Whoops. You see my jackalope? There we go. Card number 5 for Valerie. Oops. How did I do that? Okay. Been listening to Rick Nelson all day long today. I got Garden Party in my head. You can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. That's kind of the message tonight anyway, so it's kind of a synchronous kind of thing. Because when you please yourself, you actually are give the people what they need, not what they want, right? Anyway, okay. All right. And we are at 72:16. I'm trying to keep it if you're wondering what I'm doing when I pull a card and then I look, I'm trying to see what my counter is so that I'm trying to like when we're done here and this posts to my YouTube channel, I'm trying to put a list of the counter numbers so that you can watch this again. You can choose a whole different number and then you can go right to that card so you don't have to wade through all the other stuff. So card number 5 for Valerie, we got Hawk in reverse. Hawk is the messenger of the gods. So in reverse, okay. So number 1, it's like with Hawk as the messenger of the gods, there's Spirit has some messages for you. Maybe this is by watching this, this is the messages that are coming to you. But the other part of the message is that you are a messenger of the gods. That the world needs your voice. That however that expresses, whether it's through your voice or through writing or art or just daily life, talking to people, whatever it is, but to know that is part of your purpose, is to be a messenger of the gods. That you have something to say, and not only do you have something to say, but that the world needs to hear it. And it's like, I don't want to, I'm trying to, like, I could come at it from one angle where it's like, you owe the world. It's like, you came here to do this. but it's not, to put it in a way like that is to bring guilt or shame into it, and that's the last thing we want to do. It's just a matter of reaffirming to you that you have gifts, you have talents, that part of the reason you came here, part of the reason you decided to incarnate at this time and this place in human history, out of all the possibilities of the history of the planet, of the solar system, of the universe, you chose this point in time and space. And it's like, I actually, Joan of Arc has been kind of working with me recently, and one of my favorite quotes is from her. And at one point she said, you know, through all her exploits and everything that happened to her, she once said, "I am not afraid. I was born to do this." And it's like a lot of times, like for myself even, I'm in like what's going on now. I do tend to be the eternal optimist, and I do believe that everything is going to work out. But sometimes the appearance of things get overwhelming and start to feel a bit of despair and stuff. And one of the things that always brings me back is that quote, because I have to remember that I chose, on a soul level, I chose to be present here at this time. And I would not have done so if I didn't have something to contribute, something to help change the world, or the tools I needed to at least fulfill my purpose at this time, right? Even like Einstein said, it's like the universe is about frequency. Everything is frequency. Even solid matter is still frequency, right? And you can't introduce a frequency to something that is not harmonious to that frequency. And so whatever it is I came here to do, whatever my skills and talents and experiences are, they belong in this time and this space because I have what I need to contribute to the well-being and the healing of the planet. You are not abandoned. You are not here by chance. It's a matter of paying attention to your guidance and trusting spirit, that spirit knows what it's doing, that, you know, like Mother Teresa said, she's like, I know God is not going to give me anything that I can't handle. I just wish he didn't trust me so much, right? And it's like, you are here with a purpose. And it's that purpose that spirit is here to back you up, to support you in becoming everything that you can become, to stepping into your power. Again, it's not so much what you do. It's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world. And when you move into that power, when you are more often in alignment than not, then things tend to flow. Opportunities open up that wouldn't have otherwise opened up. Synchronicities happen. People show up. Situations show up. And so it's like your world is uniquely custom made for you and what you brought with you into this world. And if something, whatever is, like they say, I think it was Dr. Wayne Dyer said this, but I'm not sure. But it's like whatever is in front of you is the path. Whatever challenge you're facing, whatever issues that you're facing, that is the path. But the universe has such faith in you. It's like we tend to think about the cosmic 2x4, right? It's like, well, I wasn't doing my job, so the universe used the cosmic 2x4 to hit me upside the head to knock some sense into me. It's like, don't think of the universe that way. It's not the cosmic 2x4. It's not a punishment. The universe will not give you more than you can handle. In fact, your challenges will be uniquely suited to you to call forth from you your highest expression. That is how much faith the universe has in you. That is how much the universe loves you. The universe knows who you are. The universe recognizes your greatness. And so anything it gives you, it knows you are so much greater than whatever it is. And it's just a matter of remembering your power, awakening to who you truly are, that helps you to get over those bumps or whatever, you know. And one last thing that my guides are bugging me to say, that a lot of times we think, like, who am I? Who am I to excel? Who am I to write a book or to write a play or to create art or to be published or, you know, be a speaker and teach or whatever it is, right? But that, we think that that's humility, but that's not humility. That is ego keeping you in a box. Ego wants to keep you safe, right? Your mind can only judge by what it's experienced in the past. So the brain does not like change. So the brain is going to do what it can to dissuade you from stepping outside your comfort zone, from actually expressing yourself. But so it's ego that keeps us from being great. It's not ego that's keeping you humble. It's not humility. It's keeping you safe. But like they say, like a boat is safest when it's in the harbor. But a boat was not built to stay in the harbor. A boat's purpose is to be out on the sea. And so don't let your brain, don't let your ego give you a false sense of humility, like, oh, I'm not that good, or who am I to speak up? Who am I to teach? It's like, who are you not to? There's that Marianne Williamson quote. It's my favorite quote in the world. And it's really long, so I don't have it memorized. But it's the one about how it's not our darkness that we fear, it's our light. It's that we are powerful beyond measure. But there is nothing enlightened about playing small for the comfort of others. Like all children of God, now I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the rest of the quote, but it's like, we think, who am I to be fabulous? But who are you not to be? You came here to utilize your full talents, your full gifts. And if you're doing any less than that, you are not fulfilling your purpose. You're not fulfilling your destiny. And so go for it. Be great. Be fabulous. Because when you are fabulous, you give everyone else permission to be fabulous as well. And the world needs more of us The world needs more impassioned people living for their joy, living for the fulfillment, because on the surface it may seem selfish, but it's not. Like I said earlier, every bit of joy in the world benefits the world. So follow your joy. Don't hold back. Be who you are, because even if it's just living your life, even if you're not famous or whatever, just living your day-to-day life and in alignment, in an enlightened manner, from the highest frequency that you can at any given moment, you are changing the world. You are a messenger of the gods. You are displaying, it's like your bubble of reality connects to all these other people's bubbles of reality. So as you live in alignment, you're making it easier for these people around you to live in alignment, and so on and so on and so on. So be true to yourself. To thine own self be true, right? Because in being, I wrote a prayer many years ago. Goddess, guide my feet that I never leave the path of honor. Grant me the strength and the courage to be true to myself and thereby true to all others. And always let me remember love. But it's that the courage, the strength, the courage and the strength to be true to myself and thereby true to all others. That namaste thing, right? The divine in me sees the divine in you. You can't see the divine in others until you see it in yourself, until you see it from yourself, because it's that divine self that sees the divine in others. And so to be true to yourself is automatically being true to all others. Okay? I hope that is helpful. All right, card number 6 for Sivia. We're hitting my hour-and-a-half point. Oh well. It seems like every time I expand the time for these videos, it always goes longer than I've programmed it for, but that's okay. If you're still here, thank you for your perseverance, for your persistence. We're going to do card number 6. And then after that, I will do another card, so don't go anywhere. You're welcome, Valerie. I hope that was helpful. I always pull another card at the end for the community. It's kind of our community totem for the week. The one we have in common that's walking with us or flying or whatever, helping us on our way. But for now, card number 6 for Sivia. I'm looking, so I got the video, this DVD sitting here. Exactly, there is no punishment. That's exactly right, Valerie. You don't believe in a punishment model for the universe. You're perfect as you are. We are all perfect beings of light. We're all divine. What's there to punish? We're eternal. Anyway, I was just looking. I've got the video from earlier, and now I went from Rick Nelson being in my head to like a rhinestone cowboy, bow, bow, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy, bow, bow, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. I used to listen to a lot of country music when I was growing up, so All right, card number 6. We'll get there. uh, it's weird. They're asking me to pull a card from the middle of the deck. Card number 6, Owl. Owl is well that ends well. So, oh. So, Owl, I love Owl. Owl is, okay, let me, it's like, there's so many different, I have to like focus on a starting point. There's like all these different permutations, but I think Owl is coming along as a reminder that you can trust your heart, that your heart sees true. It's reminding me of, do I still have that right here? When I was in Sandra Ingerman's shamanic training, at the end when we graduate, the goddess Isis is one of her main spirit guides, and Isis came through to each of us and gave us a message. And I, being a cartoonist, being the artist that I am, I had to draw. I've got this. Oh, I won't go into all that. Anyway, I drew this from that. If you can read it, your confusion is a distraction. Let it go and step into your power. Move into your heart. Your brain will stay confused. Your brain will actually drag up things from the past. Your brain will actually bring up things. How do I put this? In an effort to kind of pacify yourself, the brain will create issues and create challenges and obstacles. And then when you overcome them, the brain can feel better about it. It helps you to make you feel better about yourself. But you've really not moved any place because it was made up. Your brain made up that issue in the first place. The brain will create confusion. And I know firsthand that place of confusion it is a distraction. It's like trying to figure out, where do I start? Where do I start? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? And your brain will keep you going around in circles forever. And the thing, like I say this with the understanding that, like Valerie just said in the comments, there is no punishment. You're always in the right place at the right time. If you are in a state of confusion, there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're not creating bad karma. You're not doing anything wrong. That's just where you are. And But I'm not sure why I needed to say that, but just so that there's no shame or guilt in where anybody is, right? There is no wrong. There is no getting this wrong. Like Abraham Hicks said, there's no falling off of your path. Wherever you are is your path. You can't fall off of your path. But the brain is really good at distracting us with confusion, making us feel inadequate, or like we don't know what's going on. We don't know what we're supposed to do, because it also works with the, you know, equation. You know, it's like we have to balance the equation. And so it's almost like our life is like calculus, and we're trying to figure out the best equations and how to balance both sides, but it's beyond us. It's beyond the ability of our brain to do that. And like, for example, that is the point of like Zen koans, right? The old Zen stories about like the one hand clapping, right? What is the sound of one hand clapping? There's no clapping if there's only one hand. So it again, kind of, that's interesting. It confuses the mind and confuses the brain, but in that confusion, it allows you to drop into your heart and feel what's beyond that nonsensical situation. And so, in other words, stop trying to make sense of your life. It's like that there was a meme, there's a saying about how we think once we get, how does that go? Once we get everything figured out, then we can be at peace. But it's actually, once you find peace, everything, when everything falls into place, then I can feel peace. Then I can feel joy. But it's when you feel peace, when you can feel joy, that everything else falls into place. It's kind of like putting the cart ahead of the horse. Which I have a joke about, but I won't go into that at the moment. I'm not sure if I can remember exactly how that joke goes anyway. So anyway, so if I'm giggling to myself, I'm just trying to remember that joke. But so Owl's eyesight is just as keen as eagle's eyesight. Only owl sees at nighttime. Owl sees in the dark. And so owl sees to the heart of the matter. And this is part of the reason that owl is the totem of Athena, the goddess of war, the goddess of justice, the goddess of wisdom, who is credited with giving us our form of democracy, right? Back in ancient Greece, she is the one that introduced democracy. And she always had her owl sitting on her shoulder, because when she looked through Owl's eyes, there was no one that could deceive her. There was no darkness that could be brought between her and the truth. And so with Owl, it's about seeing through the darkness to the heart of the matter, to what is just, to what is balanced. And so it takes the brain totally out of it. Confusion is the stuff of the mind. So if you're in confusion, and this is something I learned too from my time with panic attacks and stuff. Like when you're in a full-blown panic attack, even though your brain is racing, trying to figure out what to do to fix it, if you can drop below that into the heart and realize There is no fixing this. I know what this is. I've experienced it before. I know I'm going to get through it. I know it's not going to kill me. So I can drop my resistance to it. I can drop out of the brain trying to figure things out and fix it into my heart, which doesn't necessarily, alleviate the pain of it right away, but it does shorten that span of pain. It helps that, whatever you want to call it, that attack to disperse, to come back to equilibrium. It's only through that surrender, through that trust, through openness. Again, like I mentioned earlier, expanding rather than constricting, expanding rather than resisting. And so what I found when I was starting to feel anxious, when my mind started to race, rather than that being something that I needed to figure out how to fix, that was my tell. That was the sign that I needed to center. We get pulled into it and think we have to fix it, but then we're caught in the thought forms and there's no getting out of it. But when we feel that sense of confusion, we feel that sense of anxiety, that is the message of that feeling, is to drop into the heart, to see from the heart, right? To namaste, to see from that divine within us. Because that cannot be deceived. That sees clearly no matter how much darkness or deception is thrown in between you and the truth. Exactly. The heart is the answer to every question. Exactly. And so this is kind of a message for me as well, because I get caught in my own, I tend to overthink things, etc. And I get caught in my own confusion, which is why that was my message from ISIS, was that confusion is just a distraction. It's like recognizing the pattern of confusion and learning from that, letting that be the trigger toward the heart rather than going into the confusion and trying to fix it. It's kind of that, also like Artemis, the great goddess Artemis, is kind of my matron goddess. And one thing she tells me all the time is be the eye of the storm. So when that confusion comes up and when your mind is spinning, become the eye of the storm. Let the storm rage around you, but know that you don't have to get into the storm. You don't have to be pulled into it. You can breathe, you can center, you can align, and allow that storm to blow itself out. So, hi Taylor. Oh, Gage is back. Hi Gage. Welcome back to the end of the video. We're almost done. But the brain creates confusion because the job of the brain is to separate. The job of the brain is to discern, to distinguish between things. The brain automatically sees separation. But that's, to me, that basically the brain's job is to keep us from walking into a wall, to make sure we can see where the doorway is, right? So we're not walking into walls. We can see the separation. We can see the opening of a door versus the solidity of a wall. it has that separation, so we know we can navigate this three-dimensional world. Otherwise, the brain is dual in its vision. The heart is unified. The heart has room for everything. So when you start to feel the confusion, rather than getting pulled into it, recognize the telltale of that confusion. Take a breath and allow yourself to sink into the heart and see from your heart, because that sees true. And then when you see the truth, fiercely go for it, right? In a number of cultures, owl is known as a winged tiger because they are fierce. They have a ferocity and they go for what they want. They see what they want and they're on it. And the thing about owl that sets her apart from other birds is that she is totally silent in her flight. Her feathers don't have the hard edge of other feathers. So you hear that swoop, swoop, swoop of a feather. This is a swan feather. If I had an owl feather, I would do that and it would be totally silent. You can't hear them coming. Yes, Taylor, freedom lies within the heart. The best protection is an open heart. But so what that silence, it's like you see what needs to be done, you see the answer, and then you latch on to that answer and you're gone before anyone even knows you're there. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to justify yourself. Justify, right? Justice. The heart sees what is true, what is just. So if you're following your heart, your actions are automatically for the highest good. And whether others realize it or not, whether it is apparent to others or not, when you pursue that truth, when you pursue that freedom of the heart, you're setting everyone else free as well. Right? Like I like to say, right now, there are more people waking up on the planet than ever before. The thing is that a lot of people are not morning people. A lot of people's hearts are opening, but they don't want them to open, and they're grumpy, and they want to go back to sleep, right? But it's too late for that. People are awakening, and it's beautiful. It's the wisdom of the heart that unifies, that sees the patterns, that sees the connections, that sees the web, right? So always go for that truth. Always go for, even like one thing I like to remind people too is that when I'm doing these readings, this is not just metaphor. This is not just a mental archetype. This is the spirit animal that is volunteering to help you right now. So when you do feel that confusion, when you do feel that distraction, and you're not sure what to do, call on Owl. Ask Owl if you can see if she will let you see through her eyes, to see to the heart of the matter, and to help you feel that sovereignty to pursue justice, to pursue rightness, to pursue wellness. They're there to help you. They're the ones who are, I am not just repeating what I read in a book. I am connecting to the spirit of these animals, and I'm getting the message for whoever the card is being guided to. So these these animal spirits are here to help you. It's not just a metaphor. It's not just some mental exercise. The spirit animals are actually here to help you. So call on them. When you're going through your week, call on them to help you see through their eyes, to feel the truth of whatever situation it is, to lend you their strength or their courage, to allow you to borrow their gifts to help you through whatever you're facing. Okay? Oofta. All right, so we are almost 2 hours in. Oh, that's interesting, Gage. You're so welcome, Sylvia. Yeah, Gage, like you had horse, and when you get angered or sad, you think of horses galloping through fields and yards. That's exactly because that is your heart. It might be, it's like that's your personal language. And horse is one of your spirit helpers. So when you're feeling that and then you see the horse running, it's like join, merge, ask if you can merge with horse. To feel that freedom, to leave behind all that crap and to, run toward that horizon of new and excitement and adventure. So, all right. So that was card number 6. So I'm going to pull one more card for the community. And as I do so, I make a couple of announcements. Number one, just thank you so much for joining me. This is one of the highlights of my week. And it wouldn't happen without you. So I appreciate you, and I am so grateful you are here. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your seeking of answers. Thank you for your presence, for your perseverance, for your patience with my own little quirks and idiosyncrasies. And my only request, if you watch this, is to please share this video. Thank you, Taylor. I'm glad you loved it. Thank you. I'm really glad. I appreciate that. So please share this video. Introduce it to others. I'm trying to expand like horse. I'm expanding my horizons. I'm trying to expand my influence, expand my voice, which is why I'm doing this now on YouTube rather than Facebook. And so you can help me out with that. This is every Monday night at 8 o'clock Pacific time. I will be here doing Monday mini medicine card readings. But stay tuned because I'm thinking about changing it because I know for people, I know there's different time zones. So I may be in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I might be changing it to earlier. So keep watch. But for now, Monday nights at 8 o'clock Pacific is when I do the Monday mini medicine card readings. Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific. I mentioned earlier that I'm a pipe carrier, sacred pipe carrier. Every Wednesday night at 6 Pacific, I do a sacred pipe ceremony. You might know it as the peace pipe, but I do ceremony every Wednesday at 6, right here on my YouTube channel, live. And basically, I'm setting sacred space. We're connecting to spirit through the ancient ceremony of the sacred pipe, the Lakota ceremony. And I do that on Wednesday nights, specifically in the middle of the week for people, give people the opportunity in the middle of the week to drop all the heaviness of the week, drop the heaviness of the world, to have that safe and sacred space to be able to open your heart and connect to spirit. So join me Wednesday. It's here on my YouTube. I'm not doing it on Facebook anymore. Yeah, I used to do it on Facebook, but I'm doing it here now. So Monday night, 8 o'clock medicine card readings, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, sacred pipe ceremony. So if you don't know what that is and you're curious, please come. Everyone is welcome. It's non-denominational. It's opening to spirit. It's beautiful. It's the most powerful ceremony I know of, and I know ceremony because I was raised Catholic, became pagan, and then realized I was a shaman. I've literally been in ceremony and ritual since birth, and this is hands down the most powerful ceremony that I know of. So join me then. Also, if you enjoyed tonight and you wish to reciprocate, again, this is my day job. This is what I do for a living. So every little bit helps. So I have my PayPal and Venmo links in the description. And anything you give to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, to support my path, my life, so that I have more to give to support your spiritual path is beyond grateful. I'm beyond grateful for. So thank you for that. One more announcement. If you are local in the Seattle area, in a few weeks, Saturday, June 14th, I'm going to be teaching my Introduction to Shamanic Journey class, which I took a class like that almost 20 years ago, and that is why I am here. It was a life changer. It can change your life. And I'll be teaching that again Saturday, June 14th from noon to 3 o'clock at Aura Song Gifts. Aura Song Gifts in Auburn, Washington. And I'll put that in the description too. I'll put the link to signing up for that. But that is local in person. I do plan on doing it in the near future online. So if you're not in the vicinity, hang in there and keep an eye open, and I will be doing it online soon. But it's not only do you learn about shamanism, but I will teach you the technique that shamans have used for over 100,000 years to connect to their own spirit guides. So not only will you learn the mental information about it, you will experience a journey and you will meet and interact with your own power animal spirit guide. So check that out. I will put that link in my description as well. And I think that's it. So let's pull our community card for this week. And we got lizard. Our community totem is lizard. So dream big. Lizard is the dreamer. Lizard lays on his rock all day long in the sun, just soaking in the sun and dreaming. There's a story that Coyote came up, saw Lizard on a stone, came up to him and says, "Hey, what you doing?" And Lizard kind of half opens his eye, looks at Coyote, and he's like, "I'm dreaming." And Coyote is like, "Oh, so you're sleeping? You're napping?" And Lizard's like, "No, I am dreaming." And Coyote is like, "Well, what's the difference?" And Lizard is like, "I am consciously creating my future. I am dreaming my world into manifestation." And Coyote was like, "Well, how do you know I'm not hungry and I'm here to eat you?" And Lizard replied, "Because I dreamt you earlier and I dreamt you with a full belly." So again, that's kind of with that, the universe is not going to give you anything that you can't handle. As you're dreaming your universe, as you're manifesting your purpose, your life, only those things that are in harmony with your purpose will come to you. Everything in your life is meant to help you toward your fulfillment. The universe will use whatever is in front of you to bring you home. Okay? So dream big. Like Abraham Hicks said, your guidance will never lead you to protect yourself from something else. Your guidance will always be toward your highest fulfillment. It will be in the direction of your fulfillment. It will never be in avoidance of something else. It'll be toward your dreams. So dream big, because when you follow your dreams, where there were only walls, doors will open. And when you dream big, dream bigger. Don't, like I used to go see Ramtha, a channeled being back in the late 80s, early 90s. And one thing he always said was, don't manifest the money for the shoes. Manifest the shoes. Figure out what it is you truly, truly want, you truly desire, and then manifest that. You don't manifest the means to get that. You manifest what you truly dream of, okay? All right, my friends, thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you. It's kind of a long night. I appreciate everyone who stuck with me till the end or who came back. Again, I hope you will join me again next Wednesday. Invite your friends, share this video. Join me Wednesday night too, if you can. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right, bye for now.